Bean Soup Times is on a mission to create dope content that entertains, educates, and empowers the Black community. We keep our ear to the ground, we ask, we report to you. Bean Soup Times is on a mission to create dope content that entertains, educates, and empowers the Black community. We keep our ear to the ground, we ask, we report to you. We help Black people to share their message. We promote real dialogue. We provide a platform to help give voice to the voiceless. We educate you on how to shop smart. Our passion is to inform you about Black events, businesses, organizations, and entertainers. We are Black owned. We are Black Chicago. We are the award-winning Bean Soup Times.
I'm always got to spark my heart for y'all. Y'all started off with that blessing, man. Appreciate it.
Sean Michelle's homemade ice cream is the only place to go when the ladies crave delicious old-fashioned homemade ice cream. Their vanilla tastes just like Grandma used to make it. With over 35 flavors, all made with the freshest ingredients, Kathy has never had banana pudding ice cream this good. It's homemade ice cream the way you remember, and Sean Michelle's doesn't upset your stomach. Enjoy in-store or take it to go. Sean Michelle's. Fall in love again.
First-time customers, buy one, get one free.
My name is Dolphin Norris. I'm one of the owners of Dan's Soul Food and Cafe, located at 2523 West 79th Street. Best in the Midwest. My partner is my mother. My name is Dolphin Norris. I'm one of the owners of Dan's Soul Food and Cafe, located at 2523 West 79th Street. Best in the Midwest. My partner is my mother. She's the oldest, wisest living person I know. She can look at her food and tell you if it's right or wrong. She wants three things. She wants her food to be good, she wants her place to be clean, and she wants excellent customer service. Well, we've been surviving the pandemic better than ever. We've shut down the sit-down part. However, our carry-out, Uber Eats, and DoorDash has been up about 20-30%. But the main thing is that we're servicing people correctly, making sure they got good food at a good price, and they're comfortable with it, and they know that our place is clean.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I am Adeline Bracey, the Mississippi Queen. I have been in this neighborhood for 46 joyful years, and I've been coming to Dan's Soul Food because his food is so good. I closed my restaurant to start eating here. And I'm here today because of the $6 holler. That this chicken is so succulent. Tender, juicy, and the flavor, oh my goodness. Hey people, if you haven't been here, you must. It is a must if you live in the city of Chicago, especially on the south side. But if your car travels to the suburbs or wherever, come into the city. Enjoy Dan's Soul Food and Bakery. And tell them I told you so. My name is Adeline Bracey, and I approve this message.
Hi, my name is Linda Hardison, and I've been coming to Dan's Soul Food for years on top of years. Listen, this is the place to come when you want some soul. White folks, if y'all don't have no soul, come on down. You're going to get it here, I promise you. If you don't get it in your wiggle, you'll get it in your plate. Just kidding. But this is good food, and we just want to thank our sister for being here for so long. She's a staple in our community, and we just thank you for that, sister. All right, y'all, have a blessed one. Come on down and eat at Dan's Soul Food.
Greetings, greetings, greetings. What's going on, my brothers and my sisters? Peace. Assalamu alaikum. This is your brother, your friend, Toure Muhammad. This is the Toure Muhammad Show. I hope that you are encouraged, that you're excited, that you are pleased with being able to wake up on the top side of the earth today. It's a glorious day. It's a wonderful day. So, man, we are so excited, man, because we have an incredible guest today. We have a brother who has been shaking and moving. All over the Indiana, Illinois, man, making sure that many people get to shake and move, that many people are in a vehicle that will get them around the cities and the country, the city and all over the country. Because I know if they were like me, I got a vehicle from him a few years ago, and that vehicle was all over the country, all the way down to Georgia and beyond. So, man, I appreciate what he's been able to do to help in this current aspect of his business. But he's an incredible business owner that we're going to learn a lot from today. We're going to offer some great resources. So make sure y'all tell other people about the show today. Make sure that they tune in, share it, and like it so that you all can hear this great interview that we're going to do today. Right before we get started, I want to highlight something that you all may not be familiar with. Some people are, but everybody is not. In the Nation of Islam, in the Muslim community, when we greet somebody, we say peace. Of course, you hear it with a different language. You hear us saying Assalamu alaikum. And the response is wa alaikum salam. And it just means peace. And when people hear that, you know, those of us who are not Muslim, not in the Nation of Islam, you know, it may be attractive, it may be cute, but I want you all to bear with me for a minute and understand how important it is to wish each other peace, right? We do this in such a way that it will help us to not only express, it's like a small prayer, right? No matter what we're going through in life, no matter what the challenges of life are, if we can have peace with ourselves and peace with our Creator, then we can face these challenges with a lot more certainty, a lot more clarity, and a lot more effectiveness. So when we give you the greetings, we're wishing to you peace. Now, just because the Muslims say it, sometimes we forget as well, right? So this is a reminder of what we wish to each other. And then after we give that greeting of peace to each other, then what we come behind it with should reflect that prayer that we just gave that person for peace. So we bring peace into each other's life. We don't want to bring chaos and confusion because God is not the author of confusion. He's the author of peace. So with that being said, before we get started, I need the address. What address are you speaking of, Sister Carmela? What address you talking about? But we're going to talk about your address in just a few minutes. Matter of fact, let me do that right now. Shout out to the foodie spot who just reopened. If you're on my Black Chicago Eats page, right, then you saw us talking about it. You saw us promoting it. Man, some of the best food, delicious, fresh, non-GMO, halal. For those who understand what halal means, it means that the meat that you eat from there is been prepared in a way that's humane, in a way that will help it to be a better source of nourishment for you. Just an incredible place, the foodie spot, 7350 South Stony Island. You can't miss. Don't cheat yourself. Don't cheat yourself and not get over there and try some of the delicious food. Man, the jerk chicken dinners, the salmon dinners, man, the bean soup is incredible. If you've never had butternut squash, man, you ain't had it till you had it prepared by the foodie spot. So I want y'all to get over there and check out the foodie spot, 7350 South Stony Island. You're going to be hearing more about them on the Toure Muhammad Show. So, but with that being said, with no further ado, I want to bring on a dynamic brother, business owner, serial business owner, family man, and the owner of Amajay Motors. We have brother Willie Wright. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, brother Toure. How are you today?
Man, I'm doing good, brother. We're doing well.
Great.
Man, if I had glasses on, they wouldn't be able to tell us apart, man.
Probably not.
Yeah.
we kind of cloned today. Right? Right.
Man, how you doing today, sir?
Oh, I'm doing outstanding, brother. Just glad to be doing myself at this time, and I'm here bright and early and ready for the new year. Yes,
sir. Absolutely, brother. Man, so let's kick it off, man. I'm excited to hear more of your story. I know some of it, but for those who don't know who you are, tell them about Amajay Motors and your journey in entrepreneurism. You're one, just like I had brother Damon on.
Right.
And I can't recall knowing a time that he ever punched the clock. And that's all. That's pretty much the same for you, man. You've been a business owner.
Quite some time. Yeah. And it's been I've had to punch a clock, but during the times that I've actually done that, I've learned from some very influential people that helped me get to where I am today. So there's nothing wrong with punching the clock if we have an agenda to we have a goal at the end to accomplish. Then the end justifies the means. So there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you can go into a situation, and like the Honorable Muhammad said, is that learn from the white man, for he is successful. He makes no excuses for his failures. So you learn from those. It don't matter what color or what nationality that person is. They have something to give and offer. You want to instill that within yourself that you might be successful and take those.
Right. That's absolutely right, brother. I agree with you 100%. We have to do what we need to do to survive, and there's nothing wrong. It's very admirable to punch that clock, but I just laid a foundation for people who are listening to know that you listen to somebody who's going to give you some wisdom and some counsel, who knows how to survive and thrive without punching that clock. So those that's trying to get off that clock, you are one that they need to listen to.
Well, the thing is that it's not as difficult as one might think it is. One thing that I've been able to do throughout the years is I've always been in sales. So with the selling aspect, the minister had been talking about that's what we should become. More of us should become salesmen, because one thing about sales, it has no ceiling as far as where you can go or what you could accomplish. There's nobody that says you can't sell. Nobody's telling me today I can't sell a car, or how many I can sell. So, and that determines my income. So if I'm selling as many cars and I'm doing what I need to do to properly service the people, I can make as much money as I want. And so to be able to, that's the engine that runs my business, the selling aspect of it. If I don't sell a car, or if I don't have continued business, then I can't properly run my business and pay my bills and stay in business. So the selling aspect starts everything. If you look at these big dealerships, they just don't open up and say, okay, we got a bunch of money. They sell cars. And from that point, not only do they sell them, but they service them. So they have so many different aspects of finance that's coming inside of their businesses that it continues to allow them to prosper year after year after year after year. And so, like I said, it starts with the selling aspect. Nothing happens in a dealership if the sales aren't there. And nothing happens in anything if the sales aren't there. I don't care what type. If you're selling popcorn, nothing happens in that place until you're actually doing or selling the item that you're there to sell. That's the engine that starts everything up. So, like I said, when it comes down to business, I think you have to find something that you're good at, that you're passionate about, that you enjoy going to. And if you service people properly, referral business comes and you start to grow exponentially. You know, you start to really pick up momentum. And you know, I always tell people, don't worry about the money. You know, yeah, it's there, but you know, you got to be able to service people properly to the point where they remember you. And not only do they continue to do this process over and over again, but they send all their family, their friends. And when I sold cars, I never had to really, people send me so many people. I mean, I've sold you a car. I sold so many people in the Nation of Islam cars. And to this day, people call me and ask me for my opinion. And I've even had people not even buy a car from me, but I walk them through the process. And so, and that's so important because there's too many times where people, they go buy a car, but they don't know how to buy a car. And then they wind up making mistakes that could enable them from purchasing a home, getting other entities of credit. And it starts right there with that car, because this is probably the second biggest item that you're going to buy in your life besides a home. And we need a car. We definitely need a car. And a lot of us, we like nice cars. But if it's going to financially put us in a bind, you know, we need to slow the process down. And what do I mean by that? Slow the process down. Well, there's so many different avenues by which you can get lending from financial institutions, but a lot of us don't know that. Just to give an example, I got a credit union that they'll give you what they call first-time buyers, and basically all you have to do is be at the job for a year and make $2,000 gross a month, and they'll give you first-time buyers. And now that rate that they're hitting you at is probably under 10%. It's probably anywhere between 5 and 10. Which is great. Which is the difference of somebody maybe paying $200 a month as to somebody actually paying $350 to $400 a month. Now, $200 for somebody that's making, say, $2,000, $2,500. $200 is a lot less than $350 to $400. Mm-hmm. So now, if I'm paying what I'm supposed to be paying for that, I can manage that. Even if hard times come to me, Brother Toure, I can come up with that money. But $400, that could be hard on somebody that's 21 years old, 22 years old. And now, okay, just say that things get financially, because most of the time, somebody that's that young, they still haven't found out what they really want to do. So they sometimes bounce from job to job, you know, and they haven't found out what they actually, as far as a career is concerned. So they're not making a whole lot of money. So when they lose a job or they're not working for, say, a month to 2 months, financially that could put a strain on them. And when they get behind in that car note, and then the bank or the financial institution comes to get their car, now it's a badge on their credit.
Right.
So now when it's on their credit, now they still need a car. So now they got to go see this dealer over here who they don't know. They don't know about his car. So now they need a car. So now they're in a situation where they're pressed and they're saying, you know what, I got to get a car. Okay, they're giving up all this money for a down payment. And then they're hoping and praying that the owner of that dealership serviced the car properly. He bought it properly. And that he's selling it to them at a good price. Mm-hmm. And they're going to be good to go. And then they find out, guess what? I'm paying 25% on this vehicle. I'm paying $500 a month. The car is not worth what he sold it to me for. Now here's another mistake that's being made. So now you're in this rat race or this matrix that you're constantly buying vehicles at high interest, and you're getting non-productive cars in the meantime, instead of slowing the process up. Mm-hmm. So what I mean by slowing the process up, you got people don't even know that there's a credit union, that Navy Federal Credit Union. Basically, all you need is a member a family member, immediate family member that's been in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. He was right in that credit union to become a member. And everything is score generated, Brother Toure. What I mean by that is a lot of the, when you send a deal over to a bank, it's not like they're looking at your application. It's already scored out by the computer. So if you're a 600 FICO score or above, they're going to put you inside of an approval system based on what that score is. So it doesn't tell you how you pay, but if you can manage the score properly, they do it in the real estate business also, where you already qualify for so much based on that score. Now, Navy Federal, I mean, last time I checked, I mean, they're giving out rates at 1.99, and you didn't have to be a 750 FICO score to get that. I would say anywhere between 6 and 650, you're right there. So the point is that there's money out here, and if you can control your money or where you get it, as far as securing it, you can control whatever deal there is out there on a car. Car ain't going nowhere. You can find a car. You can find the same car within a 50-mile radius. You can find 100 of those cars most of the time. So the car's not going anywhere. So slow the process down and find out what is best for me. Because you got to understand, so I've been doing this 27 years. And throughout that time, other nationalities, that's how they buy cars. They'll go to 5 different dealerships and they'll walk up and they'll say, you know what, I'm just shopping. I just started my shopping process. And they're slowing the process down. We get emotional about this transaction and it costs us in the long run. And when that costs us in the long run, you have a great job, you be on the job for 10, 12 years, but you get set up with the wrong car guy, it could cost you some years as far as what you're trying to do. And so that's what I want to be able to try to be able to provide people with the proper information to get them the right deal. And I got a friend, he's a very fluent basketball coach. And he was at a Lexus dealership and he was about to pay cash for the car. And he calls me up and he asks me a question pertaining to the transaction. And I tell him, okay, this is what you want to do. Go in there, tell him this, and this. And then he says, you know what, Willie? He said, I was going to pay cash for this. Should I pay cash? I said, what's the interest rate? And he says, well, they got 0% going on right now on certified Lexus. I said, keep your money. I said, 0%, you're borrowing your own money. There's no interest attached to it. I said, you may need that money down the road for something. Anything can happen. I said, heck, you can pay it off at any time. I said, it's not costing you anything. I said, take that money. I said, it's really yours because they're not charging you nothing for it. That's what money is. It's a commodity. And so it's just like a chair in a sense. And you're paying for something. And if somebody's giving you X amount of money and they're not charging you any interest, yeah, they're giving you that money, but it's your money. You're not being charged for it. So take it. So he took my advice and said, man, exactly what you said was going to happen happened. He said, I'm glad you're not. The guy could have paid. He could have financed. Well, he did finance it. He could pay cash for it. He said, I got the money. I said, no. I said, when that time comes when you're ready to pay for it, just pay for it. I said, but you never know. Opportunity could come up. You might need your cash. And these are just some of the ways in which, when you go do a transaction like that those items are available. It's just like somebody just graduated from college. All the manufacturers have what they call college grad programs. And basically, you don't even have to have a job, Brother Toure, to get this. I'm talking about 0%.
Right.
And so basically, the requirement when you just graduate from college is that you don't have any major derogatory credit. But most people that graduate from college don't have that. You must have a job lined up within 6 months of the graduation. You don't even have to have the job, Brother Toure. You hear what I'm saying? And so if you have a job letter saying that you're going to be employed here, you already automatically qualify for a brand new car. People don't know this. Why? Because it's not in the manufacturer or the dealership's interest to tell you this type of information. The thing about it, Brother Toure, when you go to a brand new car dealership and you're buying a car, you got the salesman, you got the sales manager, you got the finance manager. And then in the midst of that transaction, you might have an aftermarket manager. So you got 4 people eating off a deal. You hear me? So you gotta sell it for so much. The sales manager got to make sure that he sell it for so much. The finance manager got to make sure he sell back end product that we don't even read to know exactly what we're signing on the back end of the deal. And then you might have an aftermarket manager that's selling you rust proofing, alarms, or anything of that sort. So if you got 4 people eating off of you, think of how much you're actually paying for this car now. But if you walk in there with a check, they're going to say, yes, sir, no, sir. Yes, Mr. Muhammad. No, Mr. Muhammad. What can I do for you, Mr. Muhammad? They're going to jump how high you say jump. Like I said, it's you got the ball in your court. You walk into a situation and you're desperate and they know you're desperate, you're not going to win that battle. You're not going to win that battle.
Yeah.
The reason why we walk into those situations is because we don't understand financial literacy like we need to understand. And what I mean by that is, well, debt is slavery. And the more and more debt we get in, like credit card debt, that's consumer debt. You know, I kind of heard on your last interview, I think it was Brother Shane, you were talking about the credit. Well, consumer debt is bad. It's not nothing good about that.
Right.
Business debt ain't bad. It's just like me. If I've had a dealership prior to this, I had $1 million worth of credit on the lot. Now that credit made money for me. It turned transactions. It allowed capital to come inside of my dealership. There's nothing bad about it, because at the end of the day, most of the debt or bills that were paid at the end of the month. So that being said, there's nothing bad about a business debt when you can take that same debt, $50,000, and turn that over 25 times. Or within my business, I want to be able to turn my inventory over 12 times a year. So if I got $500,000 worth of inventory out there, I want to turn that debt over 12 times a year. And from that debt that I turn over 12 times a year, I'm very profitable. You know, the average dealership or good dealership is 9 times a year, but 12 times a year actually makes me very good money. And so these are some of the formulas inside of my business that makes my business thrive. So all that being said, you know, just I want to be able to not just, like I said, for 2021, I see too many times we come in here or we go to financial or dealerships and we don't have the proper knowledge. We just say, I need a car. I want to buy a car. Well, actually know what you're buying before you actually do it. Make sure that you've done your history. You know, there's certain cars that don't have good transmissions. We don't know that. A lot of people don't know that. There's certain cars that if you buy it, just a brake job is $1,000 alone. You know what I mean? And you're talking about German cars, BMWs, Mercedes, Audis, you know? And then if I do buy this car, does it have a warranty on it where if something happens, I don't have to pay out of pocket? Those things are important because 2 things are not going to happen. I can tell you this: if a car is broken down and the customer can't pay for the repairs, he's not going to pay the note. Most of the time. Not going to pay the note because he can't afford it. So when you get into a situation where you buy luxury vehicles and things like that, these are some of the things that you need to know about the car before you even invest in it. Otherwise, you'll be sitting in a situation where 6 months down the road, a year down the road, you'll be regretting your decision. And then now, if you ever try to have any type of aspirations toward owning a business or owning a car, I mean a house, those aspirations are put on hold because you made a mistake. And so many times in our business and sales, you got to understand something. We thrive on emotion. You know, whether you can fear, we thrive on prosperity, or how a person looks inside of something. These are some of the emotions that we thrive on as salespeople. We do. It's you know, there's a book called How to Master Art of Selling, by Tom Hopkins, and he talks about as from a sales perspective, those are called buying points or reasons why people purchase certain things, and it's an emotion, and we attack that. You know, as salespeople. So what I'm saying is, let's slow down the process. As African Americans, let's slow this down because we don't slow it down enough to say, is this a good deal for me? This is a good deal for me. Because at the end of the day, think about this. You can go out and buy say an $80,000 car, because that's what these cars are costing nowadays. I'm talking about the really nice. Some of them cost $150,000. So we can go out here and buy something, just say 50 grand. Let's say 50 grand for instance. We work 8 hours out of the day. Then we go home. So 80% of the time, this car is actually not being used. But I'm paying for it. Financially, that don't really make sense. Now, I'm not saying that somebody whose money is good and they can afford it, this and that. And most people, when they start buying vehicles into the 50,000 plus range, they lease them anyway because they write them off on their taxes at the end of the year, and they pockets, they definitely can afford that. But my experience shows me that people that actually make a lot of money don't even buy expensive cars. They don't. I've seen doctors, they come in by Toyota religiously, Hondas, religiously. And what I've seen is that we come in, we'll make 40, 50 grand, we trying to buy this stuff, and it don't make sense. And so what happens is, you know, the Bible is the Bible says, my people are lost because of the lack of knowledge. And here's a situation where they make them better and better every year to where they are pretty. They're beautiful. You can go down here to the, in next month, they're going to have the auto show. You go down there, they're going to have the latest model for that year, and they're going to have 2 or 3 models up coming in the next few years. And they entice us, and it costs millions and millions of dollars for these auto shows, but they do that for a particular reason. They're trying to entice us into coming to support them. Did you understand something? They sell 20 million new cars a year, about anywhere between 17 and 20 million. And used cars, I think it's about 40 million. But what people are doing today, because the prices of these new cars are going up, they're investing in used cars, and they're buying them a year, 2 years old, and they're putting a warranty on the back end of it, and boom, they just save themselves. The car costs 40 grand, they just sell themselves 20 grand because the new car's going to depreciate half its value the first year. You know what I mean? So when you look at the financial background or the financial decision you're making, it don't logically make sense to put to lose money on something that you don't even have 80% of the time. So we don't really understand what we're doing when it comes down to that transaction. And there's a book I was reading called The Millionaire Next Door, and it talks about millionaires and how they live. And the average millionaire don't pay over 30 grand for a car. He don't pay over $500 for a watch, or it's like $200 or $300 for a watch. He don't pay over $500 for a suit. And then you got the guy that makes 100 grand. He's driving a $100,000 car. He just has the appearance of wealth, but he don't have the mentality of a wealthy man. And so there's a guy, he used to, he ran the MGM Grand. He, what was his name? Kirky. He just passed away, 99 years old. They said he drove a Ford Taurus every day to work. He was worth at least 10 billion. And so he understood exactly what that car does. And at the end of the day, whether you're driving a Mercedes, Brother Toure, or you're driving a Kia, it gets you from point A to point B.
Right.
And through my 27 years, I've been able to understand this process and not get caught up in that. And I've been able to this is my third business. I've been able to attain real estate, which I currently have now, which I'm actually liquidating at this point, which is because the market is time. You know, the market is great. It's going up as far as it's a seller's market right now, and I have 3 different properties, and 2 of them are up for sale. One already got sold. So these are the things that I've been able to do, but I've been able to financially put myself in a situation where those things like that don't matter to me. You know, what matters to me is being able to continually have a successful business. And you need cash and you need credit to do that. I mean, you know, the more money you got, the more effective you can run your business. You know, and you know, the less money you got, it can be difficult. Like I said, this is my 3rd one, and cash is king. If you don't have cash, you know, things can be difficult when you have a business. Now, there are some businesses where it requires just your service, and you may not need as much cash, or it requires your talent, and you may not need as much cash. But at some point, you're gonna need cash if you're trying to grow business and expand, and you're gonna need credit. So,
Right.
But like I said, it's the good credit. You know, like I got business credit right now, and when I use one of my business credit cards, it does not hit my personal credit. So my credit score still stays high, and it's not being pulled down because I had to use personal credit.
Mm-hmm.
The great thing about that.
I love it. Let me interrupt you for a quick second. Let's do a quick recap. People who are just tuning in, man, we're talking with Willie Wright of Amajay Motors. If you've been listening, brothers and sisters, he's been giving some serious information on, and he's revealing game on how you can purchase your vehicle and not put yourself in a detrimental space. Some of you all may be, you know, of an age where you forgot what it was when you were buying those cars early on in life, but you got children now, right? So you want to be able to send them somewhere where you know somebody that you can trust, and that's going to get they're going to get taken care of properly, and you can be up to date on whatever the most recent stuff is. So you heard him explain how to get that car and not put yourself in a bad way doing it. And now we're going to talk a little bit about that business credit and what, you know, and some of that aspect. And so Sissy Perez just tuned in. She said, yeah, that business credit is hard to get, but it's absolutely, you know, when you know the steps and you had the patience, right? You can get that done too. So talk a little bit about how that business credit has been working for you and how you got it.
Well, the thing is, the crazy part is that you don't want to get caught up. You got to have all this long-term history of business. No, you don't. The crazy thing about it is that personally, I had a pretty good credit score, and so before I even opened up, I got my dealer license here October 23rd of this year. I LLC my business September 3rd of 2019. Now, why did I do that? Well, what I wanted to do is, like I said, I've had a couple businesses before, so I kind of learned some things that I had made some mistakes on prior. There's nothing wrong with making mistakes neither. I you know, as an owner, and I used to run new car stores, I was general manager, finance manager, and I never got mad at my people for making a mistake. And I always said, if you're not making a mistake, you're not doing it, because you're gonna make a mistake. I made it. I made them here when I first got here. So, but you want to minimize those mistakes, and then you want to be able to learn from every mistake that you do make. And so, all that being said, as soon as I LLC, maybe a month later, someone sent me I think it was Chase. They sent me a Chase, American Express, and Chase again. They sent me American Airlines, no, Southwest Airlines. They sent me like an application for business as well as, and I became the guarantor on the credit card. Anyway, they wound up sending it to me. So they asked me for my EIN number, my articles of incorporation, all the transaction that I had to do to get started. And I think I put on there what I estimated to do as far as business. And I sent it in to them. Next thing you know, I get in the mail, credit card, $25,000. Now, I'm not a spring chicken, so that don't excite me. You know, I look at it as, okay, I got cash or I got credit to do things that need to be done without personally going inside of my personal business account to get things done. And so anyway, I've been sitting on it until last 2 months ago. American Express sent me the same thing, business credit, as well as I think it was United Airlines. They sent the same thing, about 10 grand. And so that being said, it's out here. But if I can just say, if your credit score is 525, you're not going to get that. Now,
and you're talking about this was established in 2019, so that's a short period.
Short period. That actually, I got the credit the next month. So, but my credit score probably was 680, 690, and with that, I was able to establish those lines. And so, people send me stuff all the time asking me, do I want to get money? But you know, you got to look at also all money not good money, but Toure. And so you definitely want to be careful about who's loaning you money, because if you know, when you're in business, if you're trying to leverage your business all on credit, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Or let me rephrase that: it's going to be difficult, because now everything that you own or have is leveraged out based on somebody owning it. They can come in, or they could sue you, or if you don't pay this debt. So if you got too much of it, you will put yourself in a situation where business can become hard, and it's not fun. I've been there before, where, you know, at my last dealership, I'm selling 50, 60 cars a month, but I got 15 employees, and I don't have enough working capital to sustain slow times, because slow times put you in a situation. Every business goes through slow times. Slow times can put you in a situation because the bills keep coming. Mm-hmm. And the higher overhead, you got to sustain that. If you don't have enough cash, it could become very difficult. And now the credit catches up with you, because now if you can't get product, then you can't sell, which now slows your revenue process. So that being said, you know, when you get the business credit, you want to be very careful with it to not overuse it or become dependent or make purchases that are not sufficient towards your business, because it's easy to do. I mean, if you never had it before and you got capital, you know, that's why a fool and his money, that's why the Bible says a fool and his money will soon part. Why? Because if you're not careful with it, you don't understand the process, you can't grow it. And then what happens is, once you have debt, man, it's debt is slavery. You start putting yourself in a situation where anytime you make any money, it goes right out the door. And that's not what you're in business for. You're in business to make money and to be able to put yourself in a situation in your family where you can pass stuff off for generations. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing that I wanted to talk to you about regarding the automobile industry. And the automobile industry is a great business. I've been in it 27 years. And I've started as a salesperson, finance manager, general sales manager. I've held all the positions in a new car store that you could fulfill. Now, throughout my journey, I've run into African Americans who have owned dealership. I work for them, and they've always instilled within me the ability to own. You know, Amajay Motors is my three boys: Amir, AJ, and Aiden. So I wanted to be able to build something that I can leave them something when I'm retired, or when it's time for me to move on, that they have. And so my middle son, AJ, whose name is Anson, he's at a university in Michigan that actually teaches or trains the next dealers to become dealers. Now, people didn't even know that they have a university that is set up where you can go and become a new car dealer.
Right.
Now, man, that's outstanding. So my middle son, he always wanted to work. When I had my other dealership, he always wanted to work. And I said, you know what? What would be nice for you if they got a dealership out in Motorsport. Chrysler set this up years ago. I'm talking about maybe over 50 years ago, where they wanted to have a stake inside of the automobile industry. And so what they did was they set up this university to teach and train those who are interested in becoming dealers. Now, too many times when our African-American children are in school or high school and it's time to start thinking about universities, a lot of them get caught up in the, man, what am I going to do? And sometimes they just pick a major just to get out the house and say, Mom, I'm in college. And so now most of us can't afford to, I mean, some of these universities today, Brother Toure, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 grand a year. So what do? They take out these crazy loans, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're done at that 4 years, they say, oh, look at my baby. I didn't graduate. But yeah, they got 150 grand they got to pay off or let's just say 50 grand. And then they got to decide what the major was. I mean, now does a major that they actually went to school for suffice with the income that they're about to make?
Right.
Because if they're coming out and they can't find a job, because I've sat in front of people that have master's degrees, brother, and I'm like, they can't do nothing for me. You know, I can't hire you. So people are basically, they're hiring people based on their merit. What can they bring to the table today?
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe 25, 30 years ago, you could have a degree and you're done. You're set. But not today, brother. You can have a degree. I just give you the instance. My niece, who lives in Minnesota, $80,000 worth of debt right out of college. Smart. And I'm up there, and she worked at a daycare. She worked at a school system. Man, I think she's making maybe 25, 30 grand. And I talked to her, and a buddy of mine who I helped train, he just opened up a Honda store in Minnesota. And I went up to see him, and I said, hey, you know what, why don't you think about getting in the auto industry? And she's looking at me like, what? I said, yeah, just come with me. Anyway, she went. She's making more money today than she ever thought. She told me, she said, you know what, I never thought I'd be in the auto industry. It's a great industry to be in. And she went to school. Look, now, had she known all this before she went to school, she wouldn't be 80 grand in debt. And guess what? She still got to pay that, but
Still got to pay it.
Yeah, she still got to pay it, but she actually loves something that she's doing now. But these opportunities are available to everybody. And guess what? I think I paid, the school cost 40 grand to go to. I think my son's very good in school, so he was able to get scholarship money. I think I paid $5 grand a year. And so that's definitely manageable. And even if it was 10 grand, I mean, it's definitely manageable. And at the same time, when he leaves, he's already got people trying to give him internships to become a dealer. And these dealers, they make, Brother Toure, I mean, some of these dealers make $2 to $5 million a year. That's the type of money that's available that can be made. But we don't have this information in our community to let people know that, hey, you can go to this school. They have one also in West Palm Beach, Florida, called Kaiser University, that deals with specifically training those who want to go into the auto industry. And you don't have to be a dealer, but hell, you go work for the manufacturer.
Right. And they don't need what just a high school diploma? What's what it requires?
Basically, you got to be admitted to get to school there. So I would say if you're somewhere 2.8, 3.0, and you can get admitted, hey, you can go to junior college and then transfer over. It's cheaper. So you taking the right junior college courses. When you come out of junior college, you don't have any debt, and you can transfer that right over to a 4-year university if you know what you're doing properly. Now that it only costs you 2 years of school, what it took you could have saved that money for 4 years.
Right.
So my point is, like I said, my son, he's at a university where they train the next dealers, and all the owners across the country who own these big dealerships, they send their children there. You know, and so these are some of the things that are available, that are out here. And I see Sissy Perez, and you know, that's a good question right there. She's just asking about the food trucks and the new startup.
Yeah, she got some tacos, but she got a taco business.
Let me tell you something. Ford has a great program for what you're trying to do here. And basically what they do is they have what they call a fleet. You go in and you can get a fleet business or a fleet account. And they can set up where they make your truck out. They specifically make it out to how you want it made. And actually, there's a gentleman that I used to work for, Nate Sutton, out at Sutton Ford in Matson, Illinois. He sells about 200 fleet deals a month to ComEd, Chicago Police Department. But there are certain companies that do what Ms. Perez is doing, that have their trucks customized towards that business. And what they do is the first time you buy, they have your business at the top, and they have you as a guarantor. And once you do that process, the next time you come in to buy a truck, vehicle, or car, or whatever you want, in the business name, you don't sign off. The business signs off. So now you're building your business where if something ever goes wrong, you're not on the hook for that business. Then this is how other nationalities, that's how they transact business. That's why a guy like the president can have $400 million worth of debt and not really so much. That's why he can file bankruptcy as many times as he's done, and he's still, everybody like, well, how did he do it? Well, they understand business. They don't say. Yeah, I had the privilege of being with a guy that I ran his dealerships. He had a new car store for 30 years, and one thing he told me, he never signed his personal on anything. He never signed personal. I remember when I was working, I was running his dealership out in Ottawa, Illinois, and there was an opportunity where I thought I might be part owner of the dealership. Mm-hmm. He had no kids, and I was like his son to him. And so Ford had called him up and told him about an opportunity in North Carolina of taking a dealership there. And I'm like, and he asked me about it. Would I move? I'm like, yeah, I'll move. Yeah, definitely. And so Ford wanted him to guarantee the working capital that they were going to instill inside the store. Mm-hmm. And he shut it down that quick. And see, you got to understand something. The risk of losing that wasn't worth the risk of him losing his wealth. So he understood that, you know what, it's a good deal, but it ain't that good of a deal. Mm-hmm. You know, and then I've seen another dealer. They gave him 2 months free rent at the place that was abandoned to allow him to open up again. And basically all he had to do was put the working capital in and put the cars out there. He did that. He had the store for 3-4 years, did no renovations to the place, and he sold the place for $4 million. These are some of the deals that people with money, that's how because the opportunities are always coming in. Always. Why? Because they qualify.
Right.
They qualified to do it. They got the money, they got the capital, they got the credit. So they call it the 3 C's. They got the, capital, credit.
Cash, capital, and credit.
Yeah, it's like 5 of them, yeah. And so opportunities like that are always coming to them. Opportunities do not come, well, they do come at us, but are we qualified to take advantage of it when the opportunity presents itself? That's the question that we need to ask. So,
man, that's beautiful. So with that fleet truck, you got a person that still works in that, or
absolutely, yeah.
Make sure y'all connect so you can pass some information.
The person you want to contact is Karen Sutton, very, very honest. That's Nate's daughter. She kind of oversees the whole dealership, but they have specific people that deal with that. Anita Sutton, that deal with those areas, and they can go right to what you're trying to do. Now, if there's any type of situation where, just say that right now we're not qualified to get that. Well, put yourself in a situation where you're qualified to get it. Because, Brother Toure, a year gonna go by like that.
Right.
And goes by. Are we in a better position right now or next year at this time than we were this year? If there's no progress being made, then we're not doing the right things in order for us to be qualified to take advantage of those opportunities. Just like right now, if you got a business right now, they got a stimulus package that just hit. There's money there, and and don't be shy to the point where you're thinking that, oh, they're not going to give me no money. Well, hey, I know several people that got quite a few dollars from it by just applying for it. So let them tell you no. Don't go into the assumption that they're not going to get it. It's just like this business. Don't go into that assumption. When I was doing this business, I had several people that I get my credit line for my inventory, and they did not give it to me right away because I was a startup. And I had in my prior business, I had dealt with this company for like 6 years, and I didn't really want to deal with them. And my wife was like, just call them up, and they gave me the money, and I'm like, you know what? Why assume? Because now, don't get me wrong, they made a lot of money. That's probably why they gave it to me. But at the same time, I assumed that they probably wouldn't deal with me, but they did. And so because I had rejection on 2 companies, I went to this other third company, which was a bigger company, and they gave me the money. Their money is, bigger companies, their business is money. And so if you're up and running, sometimes that year doesn't matter to them. You know what I mean? Or 2, not a year, but that month doesn't, being open 1 month didn't matter to them. And then sometime later this month, they're supposed to increase my line. But don't ever assume that somebody's not going to do something. Let them tell you no.
Let them tell you no.
Let them tell you no. And then,
man, brothers and sisters, man, I love the information you're giving. I know more people are coming on. Just a quick recap. We're talking with Willie Wright of Amajay Motors out in Maryville, Indiana. You can see the address and the website going across the screen. He's breaking down how to help you think about in terms of your credit when you're getting a vehicle. Now, it don't matter what your credit is, right? He can pretty much, because he worked with different lenders and work with you as long as you got a job and a place, a proof of residency, right? But at the same time, he's not just gonna throw you in a vehicle and send you on your way. He's educating people on how to make sure they're making a good choice in purchasing that car, and making sure you stay in it, and then you start building your credit if you're in a position where your credit's not that good. Right. Then he's been breaking it down for business credit, right, and giving you some of the jewels that he's been using along the way to build business credit separate from personal credit. And so now, and then also that generational piece where he's sending his son to this school that nobody really knows about, where you can learn how to run a dealership. All this stuff is incredible and important information. And you really, and I appreciate you because you really ain't really talked about people coming in and getting a vehicle, man. You just giving game and let people understand, man, how they can get ahead in life and in business.
You know, Brother Toure, I can say this. I've had several calls this morning about cars and people needing cars, and I think that at this point, and I think I've disclosed this to you, is that I don't like to see us come into a situation where we kind of like almost beg, and the reason why we almost begging is because of the decisions that we made in the past. And so, I like this car, or oh man, I gotta have this car. Like I said, slow down the process. The car ain't going nowhere, and if they sell it, so what? There's another car. They didn't stop making them, And so, but if we slow down the process and we find out, okay, I mean, sometimes you got to take a high rate. You just got to. But what am I about to buy with that? Am I about to go buy a $20,000 car at 25% interest? That's financial suicide. But if I go and buy me a 5 to 7 to 8,000 that I know is in good shape, man, I could be right back into to a good situation come a year, 2 years, where whatever mistakes I made in the past, they don't even matter now. So, like I said, everything is score driven. Mm-hmm. So if you make the right decisions and you're asking the right questions and you slow down the process, so man, you could make some great moves. And like I said, the opportunities that are available right now, even though it sounds bleak, the crazy thing about it, post-COVID, we sold more cars after the COVID than we did pre-COVID. So, I had a couple people in the industry as far as homes. They're selling more houses now than it was in pre-COVID. Mm-hmm. So here's something that is bleak, but at the same time, the opportunities for business are probably better than they've ever been. You probably got more and more money circulating just for business alone right now. And the crazy thing about it is, if after January 20th, and depending on what goes down in Georgia in the next couple of days, you got more money coming for business. But you got to start thinking like a business-minded person. Quit thinking that this is only for white people. When at the end of the day, now don't get me wrong, they have redlined us in business. that is right. That. But when that application come over, it's generated by a computer that is decisioning your deal, whether it be business credit, whether it be personal credit, whether it be a loan application for whatever you're trying to do. And if that score is where it needs to be, it's going to win out. It will win out. And I've done it. I've had it. I got it right in my back pocket. Business credit card that is over 10 grand, over 20 grand. So now that money is not meant for me to go and buy me a car or go buy me some clothes or something like that. That money is meant for me to, when I need to go get something or I need to do something pertaining to, just like my mechanic, I put all my parts on my business credit card. And I do that, and I can get a credit card from AutoZone or Advance. They want to give me a credit, but I put it all on my business credit card so I can get points. So when it's time for me to fly, it's time for me to stay in a hotel, I got points built up. And this process goes over and over again because I'm always using it. I always got to have parts. And I pay it off when I get funded on deals and I get money coming into the dealership. So that process continues to go where I don't have to pay when I fly or when I go out of town. And so those are some of the things that, because you got to understand something, you only want to get wealthy based upon how much money you keep. So it's all based on how much money you keep. Because you got overhead. All of us got overhead. I don't care how much we got overhead. So it ain't how many cars I sell, it's how much money I keep at the end of the day. So if I can keep X amount of dollars inside of, if I can keep X amount of dollars inside of the dealership, I can advertise, which brings me more customers. I can buy more cars, which I don't have to use the bank's credit, which saves me money. And so the more money you keep, Brother Toure, the more successful you'll be. And that's all about keeping your overhead low.
Yes, sir.
And making sure that you don't have excess. You have excess overhead that you don't need. I mean, there's certain things you just don't need. And making sure that those that you do employ, that they are worth their weight and they're worth their keep.
Right.
Because I've paid employees that actually done nothing that whole week. And that's money you could have kept. You could have advertised. You could have done something good. You could have, owned all your cars. So these are some things that through business that I've been able to take with me to do this, what I'm doing right now. So, I mean, we can talk on this subject forever.
Man, I got to bring you back on, man. Definitely, man. So first of all, because people been seeing your promotion on the show, but definitely, man, I want to appreciate and thank you for being an advertiser, a client. We've been excited about helping you to promote the business, and you're a key example, a big example of the kind of people we love to work with, people who are not just looking to make money. All that's important, right? But you also are a resource for the community, offering valuable information, and you have integrity, and especially in, you know, the feelings people have about auto dealerships and pre-owned vehicles, man. People, you know, a lot of people have been taken advantage of because they didn't know certain things, and you know, it really is on them, right? Because you got to take responsibility if you didn't understand credit, if you didn't understand certain things. But it's good to be able to know that you go into a place where somebody's not going to take advantage of it if you don't know. Right. And so, man, and we've been, seeing you in business for many years, from selling suits on 71st Street. You were one of the first Black-owned businesses I saw of somebody of my generation, because we talked about it in our mid-20s. And
that's how I got my first job in the auto industry, man. We used to take the suits and things straight to the dealerships on Friday. So they used to come out and they get all their money. They have a pocket full of money, and I show up. Here I come, 5 o'clock. Boom, shirts, ties, socks. And man, back in the day, black guy saw me. I was suited and booted. And he said, hey, let me ask you a question. He was watching me all the time. He said, hey, how much money you make? I was like, man, I had to be about 23, 24 years old. He says, I say, about 15,000. And he was like, that's it? He said, man, look, he gave me the opportunity. He said, I'm going to give you a car, $200 a week. He said, and I'm going to train you, and you're going to be my top salesman. This is what he told me. I can remember it vividly. David Wright, he was the general manager at the time. Everybody thought he was my dad. And so it was so hard because I was selling clothes with Brother Jonathan. And so I had to come back and tell Brother Jonathan, man, I found an opportunity. I love it. I want to do it. Boom, man, I went in, and brother, I ain't looked back since. And I can tell you this, from that first transaction, I've had 6-figure incomes in this business for a long time. And the great thing about it is being able to come to work with my family and to be able to do what I do, because I love doing this. And I try to help people as much as I can. And but I want to do better. I want to be able to help us make better decisions. And I'm not saying you ain't got to buy a car from me. You ain't got to. But I want to be able to see you go make the right decisions to the point where it's not financially killing you, or you can't provide for your children properly because you don't have the credit, or you don't, because you made a bad decision. You paying $600 a month for a car that's worth $300 a month. That's crazy. I see it happen all the time, Brother Toure. And the reason is we're not educated. We don't understand what we're really there to try to do. And so, that being said, we talked about me doing the podcast, giving this information out to more and more people, and that's what we need, man. Like I said, if you ever had this information out here, whether it be sending your kids to school, or being able to go in there properly, giving me a call at 7 o'clock, and you're in the showroom, and you said, "Hey, what is this?" And I've had a couple sisters, Sister Aziza. She called me up once and said, well, Willie, what do you think? I said, Sister Aziza, don't do that deal. That's not a good deal. And to this day, she never did the deal. And she's in a situation now where she can do whatever she wants. But slow down the process. That deal ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, the deal ain't going nowhere. They're going to keep making cars.
Now that 0% deal, that I got the deal, a couple thousand on the invoice.
Right.
I don't think you need to call me. But that 20-some% and that $600 a month, you need to slow that down.
Yes, sir.
Brother Toure, we used to always say this, that ether wear off in 6 months.
That's right.
Right. Paying $600 a month. Then you start looking at what you're paying for. Man, come on. It don't work, brother.
That's it, brother.
It don't work.
Man, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming on the show. We're going to have to get by the foodie spot together and get some of that food over at the foodie spot.
Hey, I'm so glad she's back open, man. Hey, brother. Yeah, she got the best. She got the best food in Chicago. Because I'm gonna tell you this. I come from Indiana all the way out there, and I sit for 2 hours and eat, and listen to the music, and I ain't seen it since she remodeled it, but I heard it's banging.
Oh, it's beautiful, man. It's real beautiful in there. And man, she got a beautiful mural on the wall of Black leaders. Man, it's set up real nice now.
Okay.
And
Inshallah,
I was there Saturday. I went by Saturday and got a salmon dinner, jerk chicken dinner.
Okay.
And everything was delicious. The squash medley, man, you know, it's hooked up. It's hooked up.
Hey, she bringing downtown flavor to the South Side.
That's right. That's right.
For real. I mean, you go down there and get you a 5-star dinner for $12, you know. Hey, and you can't beat that, brother. And it's healthy. That's right. Perfect. And it's healthy. It's healthy. Yeah, you see them in the back preparing the food, everything green and looking good. And man, I'm glad she got it back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you got to get by there. It's a little window. You can't see the on the back now like it used to be to see in the back.
Hey, I know they're doing it right though. I can say that.
Yep, but you know it is. And man, yeah, I'm excited for them and excited for what you continue to do to spread that knowledge, man. We look forward to hearing from you a lot more on the show. Absolutely. And whatever aspects. I know you used to have a radio show that you used to do on 106.3.
Right. Actually, I talked to sister. We plan on getting that up and running probably no later than February, and we're gonna put that on the podcast with your help. You've been great. I mean, brother, I was stuck at a crossroad. Like I said, I'm a good salesman. I can sell cars. I know how to buy them. I know how to do all that good stuff. But man, without your help, brother, I was sitting here trying to figure this thing out. I was like, nah, let me call it. I'm glad you reached out when I told you I had opened this up. Then you reached out, and man, you've taken me so long, and even been 30 days, hasn't it? That you've been.
It's almost 30 days now. Yeah.
So I thank a lot for you, brother. And you used to take my pictures at the last dealership, which is great. And so we do have some history together, and I trust you, which is the most important thing. And so, and that's another thing that I want to say to the audience is that when we partners and things like that, we got to trust each other. Trust is the most important aspect of business. But if we don't trust each other, brother, we can't do business with one another. And so, unfortunately, sometimes in our community, man, we don't get it. We want to go into a situation and make all the money right away, and we forget, bring the process on. So be patient with it. In the Quran it says, seek assistance in Allah through patience and prayer. And so we don't have the patience sometimes. And other nationalities come in and they got it, man. They trust each other. They work together. It's like what you said about that ant community. And you destroyed that ant, and they didn't say, oh man, you didn't see him coming. No, they get right back to working. It's like clockwork. Well, we get so fixated with little small stuff that don't make no sense, bro. I mean, I've been in situations, brother, where I just wanted to get in the door just to be able to learn so I can do better down the road. And sometimes money wasn't even an aspect of it. Sometimes I've taken less money just to go work for a guy I knew I could learn or want the knowledge from. Whereas we gotta have, man, and then we look up, man, our careers don't never take off because we don't understand why we there. And I'm gonna leave you on this note. The brother I was telling you about 15 years ago, man, I remember I was a sales manager at Southern Ford. I snuck him in finance. He used to come to me every day, about 23 years old. And he used to come to me every day. Well, I want to be in finance. And we kept going through these finance managers. And so it left me to do 2 jobs. I had to do like 2, 3 jobs. Mm-hmm. And so he used to come to me every day. I said, all right, man, this is what I'm going to do. I said, I'm going to go in finance and I need you to watch me. And he watched me, and he watched me, and he watched me. And then one day the owner found out about it. So I come in at 1 o'clock. They said, Nate want to see you. I said, oh, man, I got to be looking for a job today. I already know what it's about. So Nate say, man, what are you doing putting this guy in finance? And I said, hold on. I didn't put him in fight. I said, I'm training him. And I said, he's a good kid. I said, you know him. I said, he's ambitious. And I said, you keep throwing these guys in and out of this place, and you paying them big money. I said, why don't you give him a shot? I said, you ain't got to pay him a ton of money. And then he was like, that's all the owner want to hear. I ain't got to pay him a whole lot of money. So he winds up giving the guy a shot. And the guy tells me about 6 months down the road, he said, man, Willie, I ain't making no money. He make about 50 grand a year on a job that actually pays 150,000. So I said, look here, brother. I said, you getting paid to go to school. And to this day, he always see me. He say that this same gentleman, his net worth now that they opened his Honda store is about $3-4 million. He's 35 years old. He always look at me and say, man, I remember you used to tell me that you get paid to go to school. I always tell my people, because he's doing the same thing I did. He's training people. He got a 27-year-old African-American female as a general sales manager. And she called me the trailblazer now. So, but these are some of the things. I didn't do that thinking that he was going to become this car giant. I just wanted to help him and be able to provide something to somebody that was younger than me that wanted the same things I wanted. That's all I did. And I've throughout the years, I've been able to successfully promote people. And some people take off and they run with it, Brother Toure. Some people don't. And that's not nothing. There's some people, everything ain't meant for everybody. But what I can say is that we need to help each other more and not ask for some type of compensation for the information that we have.
Right.
Because I know people that, well, you got to pay me. Man, you ain't got to pay me nothing. People say, man, I'll pay you. You ain't got to pay me nothing for some information. It don't cost me nothing. But if you do well and I do well, we all do well. And the community is strong and nobody's sitting here praying on each other. Feel me?
Absolutely. Willie Wright, Amajay Motors, man, we appreciate you, man. We thank you for coming on the show.
Yes,
if y'all
sir.
looking to get a vehicle or get some advice on getting a vehicle, go to the AmajayMotors.com and get more information. And man, we appreciate you and love you and thank you for coming on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you. And may Allah continue to bless you, brother. You've been wonderful. I've been knowing you for a long time. And you've always been steadfast, brother. So thank you, Brother Toure. I appreciate you.
Absolutely, man. Likewise, brother, man. It's a pleasure to know you and to see you doing what you're doing now. So we'll definitely be staying in touch, of course, because we talking almost every day.
Yes, sir. We do.
Man,
yes,
so we keep doing what we're doing, man, to help you with the marketing and promotion aspect.
Sounds good, Brother Toure.
All right. Peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
All right, brothers and sisters, man, that was Brother Willie Wright, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. You know, we're going to close out talking a little bit about Bean Soup Times, man. I'm encouraging y'all, man, to check out what we do and how we can help other businesses. And I want to give a shout out to the ABS Tribe, man. The ABS Tribe, Brother Ben X, Jason King, Jacob Taylor, man, and really the Black World Order piece, 19 Keys, man. These young brothers are shaking and moving and bringing folks together to help build business. Man, hit the link in my website if you want. I mean, in the comment section or whatever, description to get more information. Text me, call me. But there is some amazing stuff happening. And if you're trying to build your business, if you want to get around a group of folks who can help you take it to the next level, or if you're trying to figure out what you need to do in business and you need some assistance and some guidance, I'm telling you, these brothers and sisters, man, are doing it. And you need to check out the ABS Tribe, making new strides by leaps and bounds. So shout out to the ABS Tribe. And let me hit y'all with this.
Greetings. My name is Toure Muhammad, the founder of Bean Soup Media. We are a content and digital marketing strategy company that empowers the brands of small businesses. We are a passionate team of designers, writers, photographers, and most importantly, problem solvers. And we come together to help you tell your story.
Brother Toure, you shared a post about our business a few years ago. It's reached almost 50,000 people within about 30 days. Brother Toure, through yourself, we have had so much media coverage, newspapers. We're talking about the Channel 7, Channel 9. You have brought so much attention to Sean Michelle's homemade ice cream, and I will never stop supporting Bean Soup Times and Black Chicago Eats. And I wish that others will also take a closer look what you have to offer, because we have benefited. Just take a look at Sean Michelle's. Take a look down the street. See the line to the next block. That's as a direct result of the social media that you posted. That's as a direct result of the live testimonies that you've done at Sean Michelle's. That's as a direct result of the writings that you've written up on Sean Michelle's homemade ice cream. And so God has really blessed you first to have a love for our community, to have a love for black businesses, and one for your brother, which you want for yourself.
In the building with us is Brother Toure Muhammad. He is the marketing genius behind Sissy's Taco. But Toure has been one of the pioneers in marketing, black marketing in Chicago. He did the, was it Black, not Black Chicago, Taste of Black Chicago. Doing it like the real, for y'all real marketers out there, bring us the food in the morning. I'm telling you. And then I just had some gummies too. Oh, my cousin.
And they warm.
I'm selling, you got the studio all smelling up. Brown paper bags. Toure Muhammad, you see him, check out Bean Soup Times. Check him out, all of his clients. Also, let me tell you what, he also represents Sean Michelle, right? So check him out. Ooh. He's also, man, I know they, let me tell you what, shout out to Sean Michelle. You know I'm an ice cream connoisseur. Mm-hmm. So I love their ice cream, but boy, that line, good Lord, you got to park and wait and sit there and it'd be like down the block. Shout out to, and he also is a writer over at The Final Call, right? So Brother Toure Muhammad, extensive history, doing it like the marketing directors. We need to get you a gym shoe contract next, so you can bring the gym shoes in too. But I'm gonna tell y'all what, Sissy's Taco Bar doing their thing, popping up on a Friday. We're gonna be smashing these on air. Toure, thank you so much, my brother.
You guys, Brown Sugar Bakery has been using Bean Soup Times since 2009. We established our Facebook page 11 years ago. Look at that. We've grown as a company, and with Bean Soup Times, he's always been looking out for us and enticing all of you. I love you, Toure, for enticing my wonderful customers that are both Facebook fans and Instagram fans. I highly recommend Bean Soup Times, especially if you're brand new to social media or relatively new to social media, because Toure will make sure that he kindly and patiently walks you through getting up to speed online.
Shout out. We appreciate Brown Sugar Bakery. Man, we love them. And we appreciate them. If you are Black-owned Muslim business, get your business on the Black Muslim Business Directory. Man, check out Sissy's Taco Bar. Their pop-up kicks off again, 312 East 75th Street this Thursday and Friday from 6:30 to 9:30. And you just heard from Amajay Motors, some incredible opportunities for you to get your business, get your vehicle, man, from a trustworthy source. So, man, we got some great shows coming up this week. We have the Sajda House. We have Sister Sajda Muhammad coming on Thursday to talk about the Elijah coins, man, that we're blessed to have been the major part of the design of this product, the Elijah coin. So we appreciate being a part of that. We're going to hear from her on this Thursday. And then we have tomorrow, we got Coach Remy. Coach Remy, she's an author, entrepreneur, business owner, of course. So we're going to talk to her about what she has going on for the new year. And then we have a budding entrepreneur, Maya Wright, is going to be on. She is a clothing designer, HBCU student. She's she's from Chicago, but coming to us from FAMU, that great HBCU. So we appreciate and look forward to talking to her. We got Michael A. Muhammad, coming on that same day as well. He's a new author. He's a music artist. He's a baker. You all seen some of those pies I posted from him. He, man, a great job from him. And then we're going to have Friday, we're going to have Sissy's Taco Bar is in the building. We're going to be talking to her. So we're looking forward to this week. I encourage y'all to tune in to us and make sure that you stay plugged with us as we try to bring you continuously shakers and movers throughout the city, throughout the country, who are amazing entrepreneurs. And we're going to continue to help inform and educate and empower our community. So with that, we'll talk to you soon. Appreciate you. Assalamu alaikum.